started.
If you guys look up to subscribe to the channel, it's free. I think 70% of people that watch aren't subscribed, so do us a favor, sign up to YouTube, subscribe, it's free. So just, as the years go on, take a look at my annual vegetable patch. I'm going to have to replace all of this next season, clear it all out. It's a little bit of kind of fun, and sometimes you want things to be a little bit easier. So in this video, myself, Jock, Bethany, and a special guest are going to give you some different vegetables that you can plant once and have used for years. So let's kick it off with an absolute tank of a perennial in my backyard garden. It looks like a lot right now, but honestly, when it's time to harvest, it won't be anything. I'm talking about asparagus. This is a plant that can easily grow for 15 to 20, maybe even 30 years. It's not really one plant that you're dealing with. You want to plant a bunch of them in a patch and let that patch mature over the years. So the beauty of asparagus is that it can be planted all the way from zone 2 up to the tropics. So it's a true all-climate perennial, which is just an amazing, amazing gift. But what you see here is, wait till maybe you're 30. You see here is a simple frame that we built. This is an 8-foot by 4-foot birdies raised bed from us on our store. And this kit, you can see the temperature got to 103 degrees here, and the plant is going. Now, speaking of harvesting, how do you harvest this plant? The best way to do it is actually not with like a pruner or a knife, but instead you just kind of grow it.
They are on the smaller side still. So I'm keeping them in smaller containers and then just upsizing them slightly each season as they continue to grow. But right now, they're still really easy for me to move around in these small containers.
Leafy green. It produces kale or cauliflower, depending on what you love it. And it is actually quite tasty. Now here's the thing. In the summertime, not that great. But neither is any of my other kale. They tend to be more bitter and tough. But come winter, come spring, when it's nice and cool, this makes sweet, nutty, big, giant kale leaves that are wonderful in soups. They're wonderful even raw. They're not as springy as most kales. I don't know why people don't get more of it. Honestly, it's probably because it's really hard to find. This thing can live for up to 10 years. But the deal is, I've had this in the garden now for about 4 years. It's only produced. Most people only get it through plant propagation, through cuttings, and that is honestly the way I would go about it. If I were to propagate this, I could do it either through a couple different ways. I could wait and try to get lucky to see if it produces seeds. But my personal preference is to take it back and kind of only where it's the most tender, where it wants to break through easily, remove every single one of these leaves, and then you put it in a nice wet kind of soil, and it should be able to develop roots. I've actually done that a couple of times and transplanted them around my garden. But in the end, I still really come back to this one because this one plant is producing at least 20 different side shoots, and all of them are producing tons of kale. So if you want something that's long-lived, produces really delicious greens, I would highly encourage you to keep your eye out for tree pods or tree kales, whatever the name is in your area.
So it is quite tasty and it is entirely complete. My next one is almost a prehistoric vine, and it's quickly become one of my fun new plant. As you're watching this, you can also plant it from seed or seedling, and it will grow really well in the early fall, establish itself, kind of set up structure through the winter, and then you get that first harvest of artichokes the following spring. You take a look right here. I've got a young, small artichoke, but in fact, this patch is many years old, about 4 years old now. And you can tell because I have these old thorns that I've feathered off once the artichoke from last season was done. So if you're in a warm climate like I am, you'll probably get 2 rounds of artichoke per season, once in spring and once in fall. I'm getting my fall crop right now. But this is, to me, the amazing part about an artichoke patch. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, but they're not taking up a whole lot of space now. In spring, they'll be absolutely insane. They'll be crazy. But while I'm waiting for that, what am I going to do? I've got some annual flowers in here, some little landscaping plants. I've got some native milkweed and some salvias that I can landscape this area while the artichoke is dormant and just establishing itself. Because come spring, it will be completely covered in artichoke. It won't have any ability to plant any flowers. So this is a very creative planting technique you can use.
That's right. Beans can be perennials. Charlie runner beans are the only one I really know of, but apparently some of the runner beans also have this ability. One of the reasons why this bean is perennial is the fact that it can grow in really high altitudes in cold climates. So this comes down from South America, where they were able to grow up in the mountains where most beans traditionally don't do that well. So what is their strategy? Here's the problem. Underground, they cannot due to rain. So if you live somewhere near wet, you're probably not going to get them to be perennial year after year. You're just going to have to get these annuals. Even here in San Diego, when we don't get that much rain, they still get for me most of the time. It is technically perennial, and it has lived for many years for many other people.
Look who's back. Here. By the way, I've been on perennials for years, way before Kevin. He took his inspiration from me. Probably the most fun. Kevin has no clue about is that it has nothing to do with Jerusalem and nothing to do with the artichoke family of plants. It's actually related to a sunflower, and it's native to here, North America, to the point where it will actually produce tiny little yellow flowers. But the juice that we really want to be eating for that perennial vegetable is definitely important. We are going to give the first 200 people to sign up using the QR code right here with the link in the description to platforms. You can join me in supporting some of these awesome missions that we've been speaking of. You can check out those 2 missions that I mentioned right here on my YouTube channel. Good luck with all that. If you've been on the internet in the last 2 years, you've probably seen all of these regrowing kitchen scrap packs. Lots of negative. Gotta love it. Turns out, most of them don't give you what you want. Even if they do grow, it doesn't grow into something you can realistically use. So we're going up to Chris in Vancouver, BC, who's been reading out all the popular kitchen scrap packs you see to see just how many work and how many are garbage.
If you are looking to grow more food for your business, there are also things that you need to know to keep now, with those viral reborn videos, they are available to grow, and they oftentimes show these really weird and inaccurate time lapses of one thing growing into something completely different. So in today's video, we will help you understand which strains have a higher chance of giving you more food and which ones are better off left and being experimented. To do that, we will go into plant biology or the physical parts of the plant to get a better sense of what certain plants or plants will or won't push out more to eat. And knowing this bit of information will help us set more realistic expectations of these little scraps. And hopefully that will help us determine whether or not a certain scrap is worth our time. Probably the most captivating regrow hack videos are the ones around food, like citrus, apples, cucumbers, mangoes, and kiwi. All of this, let me think you have a decade or so of reading if you can get your hands on a small cutting and get that rooted and in the ground, you will see a few of these scraps myself few weeks ago, knowing that I would see some level of success from things like lettuce, celery, green onions, carrot, and beet chops, as well as some other fun ones. So basically what I did was chop the parts similar to what you would see in the tax videos. I placed them in water and just kept refreshing it, and also placed them in light and waited. So it's been about a week or so since I took my kitchen scraps and placed them into containers with a little bit of water, and they've been in the greenhouse in a outlet spot. They're not overly hot, and I do see some development, so let's take a look. Okay, let's look at the celery. So we do see some new leaves emerging, which is nice, but at the bottom here, no signs of roots coming out of this basal area. Same with the carrots, nothing really going on. I'm not really expecting anything right now. It's only been a week, but there is a little bit of new growth where the leaves are. So that is maybe kind of promising. Over here, this is looking good. This is the base of the leek. So